Running a live tender in Build My Bid Manager. Before we start, bookmark this video right now. Not at the end, now. This is the one video you'll come back to every time a tender lands, and you'll want to find it in 10 seconds, not 10 minutes. Bookmark it, save it to your favorites, add it to a Notion page, whatever works for you. Done? Good, let's go. You've set up your system. Your bid library is built. Now a tender has landed, and this video is going to walk you through exactly what to do with it, step by step, from the moment the ITT arrives to the moment you click Submit. Our demo tender is a Community Safety and Warden Services contract for Riverside Council. £480,000 a year, 3-year term, open procurement, due 20th September. 3 scored quality questions. We'll follow it all the way through. The live tender process has 5 phases: intake and analysis, drafting, review and finalize, submission control, and post-bid learning. Each one matters. None of them is optional once you're in the bid. Let's start at the beginning. Before you open a chat, any chat, there are 3 checks. They take 30 seconds and they prevent the most common mistake new users make. Check 1. Are you inside your Bid Command Center project? Not a random chat, not a different project. The project. Your entire bid library lives here. If you're not inside it, the AI is working blind. Check 2. Click New Chat. Do not continue an old tender conversation. Do not use your bid library chat. The library chat is your permanent infrastructure. Never draft inside it. Every tender gets its own fresh conversation. Check 3. Name the chat. Buyer name, contract title, due date. For our demo, it looks like this. Riverside Council, Community Safety and Warden Services, due 20 September 2025. In 3 months, when you need to find this conversation, that name will save you. Phase 8 is intake and analysis. It's the phase people most want to skip because the instinct when a tender arrives is to start writing. Don't. Everything you learn here shapes every answer you write. Let's go through it. Fill in the tender details here. Buyer name, contract title, submission deadline, sector, procurement route, and contract value. Once you paste this in, the AI checks your bid library for relevant case studies, methodology content, and evidence before you've uploaded the ITT. This tells you immediately if you have a gap. Run Confirm Document Receipt before you do anything else. The AI creates a document receipt table. What it's found, what it can read, what looks missing. Find that out now, not halfway through the decode. Step 8.5 is the full ITT decode, the most important thing you'll do before you write a single word. The AI produces a forensic analysis, what the buyer is actually purchasing, the evaluation method, every scored question with its weighting and word limit, pass/fail requirements, likely win themes, evidence gaps, and a bid/no bid recommendation. Read that recommendation.
A bid you were never going to win is time your library doesn't get stronger.
8.6a. 1-page summary you can send to anyone involved in the bid. 1 page, everything they need. 8.7. Buyer psychology. One of the most powerful prompts in the system. The AI acts as the buyer. The phrases to use and phrases to avoid section alone will change how you open every answer. 8.8. Competitor battlefield. Run this when the incumbent is strong. The recommended positioning statement tells you the 1 or 2 things your bid must establish. 8.9. Any pass/fail requirement missed means the whole bid fails. Check this yourself against the original ITT. 8.10. Works backwards from deadline. Always builds in a 2-hour submission buffer. Portal failures happen. 8.11. Nothing gets drafted until this register is complete. Phase 9 is drafting, and the single most important discipline here is this. 1 question at a time. Don't draft all 3 questions in one go. Each question goes through its own complete sequence before you move to the next. Here's what that sequence looks like. 9.1. Before you write a single word, run this. The AI breaks the question apart. What's explicitly asked, what's implicitly expected, what the evaluator is scoring, what a weak answer would miss. Then it produces the answer blueprint. Look at the opening sentence guidance especially. 9.2. The AI searches your library and identifies the strongest evidence for this specific question. Each piece gets a confidence level and gaps are flagged right here, not halfway through the draft. 9.3. Now we write. Paste in the blueprint from 9.1 and the evidence pack from 9.2. The AI produces the first draft using only the evidence you've provided, nothing invented. Notice the evidence appears in the first paragraph, not buried at the end. 9.5. Mandatory. The AI scores the draft out of 50. Below 35 out of 50, revise. Don't argue with a low score. Fix the problem it's identified. In our demo, question 1 scores 31. Evidence specificity is weak because the case study hasn't been given a named outcome. That's the fix. 9.6. Takes the critique and produces a revised answer, doesn't invent evidence. Then run 9.6b. When it says ready for human review, move to the next check. 9.7. This is mandatory before any answer leaves the AI system. The AI reviews every claim against your evidence pack. It catches drift, particularly on social value metrics, certification claims, and contract values. 9.8. The final AI quality gate. Client ready yes, no, or yes with conditions. In our demo, it's yes with one condition. The client needs to confirm a specific KPI before submission. Phase 10. Review and finalize. Phase 10 looks at the whole submission together. Individual answers that score well can still lose marks if the submission as a whole is inconsistent. The most important prompt in Phase 10 is Step 10.4. The consistency check. In the Riverside Council demo, it finds exactly the kind of thing that gets caught here. Answer 1 names John Smith as operations manager, and answer 3 names Sarah Jones in the same role. That's the kind of error that makes an evaluator lose confidence in the whole submission. Step 10.5. Social value alignment. Social value is worth 10% of marks on central government contracts. This check verifies commitments are mapped to the correct PPN2 themes and MAC metrics. Step 10.7. Director Sign-Off Report, the formal approval document. One of 4 verdicts. Our demo. Approve subject to 2 fixes, the inconsistent role name and 1 unverified KPI. Fix both, then proceed. Phase 11. Submission control. Everything is written, reviewed, signed off. Now you get it onto the portal. This is where bids fail in the last hour for reasons that have nothing to do with the quality of your writing. Step 11.1. Portal submission checklist. Every file name, every format requirement, every required declaration. It names the human submitter, because one named person is responsible for actually clicking submit. That's not the AI's job, and it never will be. Step 11.2. The human upload brief. What to upload, in what order, what declarations to tick, what to do if the portal fails. It ends with, do not close the browser or leave the portal until confirmation has appeared and been saved. Take a screenshot. Every time. Step 11.4 is the confirmation record. Reference number, who submitted, when, screenshot saved. This is your audit trail. Phase 12. Post-bid learning. I'm going to be direct. Most organizations skip this. They submit, they wait, and if they remember the debrief at all, they do it weeks later when memory has faded. Don't. Run it within 48 hours. The debrief extracts 4 things. Grade A content, the strongest written sections that should go back into your bid library. Evidence gaps, what you needed but didn't have. Sector intelligence, what this tender tells you about this buyer type. and lessons learned. When the debrief is complete, go to tab 4, the bid brain, and mark this tender as taught. A loss with feedback is more valuable to the system than a win without it. Buyer feedback tells you exactly where you left marks on the table. Let's recap. 5 phases. Each one matters. Phase 8. Intake and analysis. ITT. Decode. Compliance checklist. Tender plan. Question register. Do not skip this. Do not start drafting until all 4 are complete. Phase 9. Drafting. 1 question at a time, through the complete loop. Below 35 out of 50 on the evaluator critique, revise. Phase 10. Review and finalize. The whole submission together. Consistency check, social value alignment, director sign-off report. This is where contradictions get caught. Phase 11. Submission control. 2 hours before the buyer deadline. Named human submitter. Confirmation record saved. Phase 12. Post-bid learning. Within 48 hours. Grade A content back to the library. Evidence gaps logged. Tender marked as taught. The non-negotiables. Follow these every time. That's the complete live tender process. If you've just received a tender and you're watching this while the clock is running, go. Tab 5. Pre-flight check. New chat. Name it correctly. Start with 8.1. Everything you need is right there. And if you haven't bookmarked this video yet, do it now. You'll want it every time a tender lands.